Here's how you can use AI to grow your real estate business. Now, whether you're a real estate agent or a real estate investor, I think there are multiple applications that you can use in order to grow your real estate business. When it comes to real estate, it's not just about buying and selling a house. There are all these different services and activities that happen around that process. Now, it might be the center of the process. It's simply a transaction of buying and selling a house, or buying or selling a house. And around that, there's customer service, there's how educated people are, maybe you're giving them information. There's also the aspect of how much communication there is back and forth. Sometimes you have a client who's just freaking out and you have to calm them down. And so AI can actually help you with all these things. And so one of the easiest ways that you can do it, let's say you're a real estate agent. One of the primary things that you need to grow your business is to establish excellent customer service, and secondly, to have a good, strong pipeline of leads. And so how do you do that? Well, first of all, when it comes to client communications, you might not be available 24 hours a day, but guess what? The AI GPT that you trained is. And so you can literally train an AI GPT to behave how you would. And so it's kind of like Chat GPT. You can build your own custom one and basically teach it exactly how you talk. So if you have videos recorded or scripts or content or anything like that, you can teach the AI to behave and talk and act and think just like you would have in that situation. So it kind of puts you in an interesting position, because now, instead of you having to answer the same exact questions for everybody, you can use AI to help you with some of the questions that might be on the easier side, and then you can step in and help with the more complicated questions. Now, once the client actually engages you and they're in the middle of the transaction, you can now interact with them fully as, your human self, and without the help of AI, to make sure that that's a smooth transition for them and that you're helping them through that process. However, one thing that AI can also do is it can help you analyze what things you're always talking to clients about. If, for example, there's a topic that seems to come up time and time again, AI can identify that, and it can, first of all, give you ideas on how you can help talk about that aspect of real estate, or how you can help them get past certain things in real estate. For example, it might be difficult for a new home buyer to read an inspection report. So what if AI analyzed that, hey, 30% of your conversations out of your whole business is talking about how to read an inspection report and how to understand it correctly, because every house is going to have something wrong with it. It's very rare to have a house that just doesn't have any issues with it, especially when you're buying not a brand new home, so a house that's been lived in before. So when you're reading the inspection report, it can actually look quite scary, because you're like, wow, there's this problem and that problem, and this outlet is wrong, and the code's changed, so this is wrong, and that's wrong, and that's wrong. When in reality, it's basically just a normal house. And so I know those can be so intimidating, and I've seen these inspection reports, they're huge. So you have an inspector go out there, and it can actually be quite an intimidating thing for a first-time home buyer to look at. But if you had AI guiding them through that, what if instead of them just reading it on their own, you had AI guide them through each section, give them a summary, explain what's going on, explain how normal certain things are, explain how to read certain aspects of this report? That would be super helpful. And then if they have a question, they can just ask the AI agent,
hey, I was wondering, how normal is it to have a leaky roof?
Well, obviously that's not normal. So AI would know that that's not a normal thing and say, hey, actually that's pretty much something that shouldn't happen, and I would probably be concerned about it. And so as they're reading through it, they can understand what's kind of like a red flag, what's a yellow flag, and what is a green flag. So that's kind of on the customer service side. Of course, there are many other things that can be done there using AI, but as far as a real estate agent goes, if you are proposing to somebody that they should sell their house with you, what if you had an AI valuation tool? So they're coming to the house with their little pieces of paper and their comparables, and they're saying, well, this house is worth that much, and this house is worth that much, and this is what your neighbor sold for. And so they're kind of using that to gauge what your house should be worth. But what if you made that whole process just simple, sleek, fun? You could make this very, very high tech. What if instead you handed an iPad over to your prospective listing client, and you said, hey, why don't you just type in your address there, and AI is going to do all the hard work for you. It's going to do all the analysis. It's going to tell you exactly what your house should be sold for on the market within, let's say, an 80% accuracy rate. That would be really cool. I would want to work with the high-tech agent, because they have this AI tool that does all that work, and it explains how it came to that answer, and it says, you know, where the market is headed potentially, and how to price this home against other homes that are similar. And so that's a lot more of a high-tech approach as opposed to just having comparables on paper, which again, there's nothing wrong with that. People have done billions in transactions like that. But I think with the age of high-tech technology, and especially with like AI and all the different tools that we can use to very, very quickly come to valuations, valuable insights, conclusions that we can use in order to inform our decision when we're listing a house, I think it's a very, very valuable tool. And I think people will appreciate that you're embracing the high-tech nature of today's market. And I think they would trust you more as an agent. I mean, I would want to work with somebody who's working with the latest technology and using it in order to promote my listing better and potentially get me more money for my house at the end of the day. Because when you're selling your house, when you're listing your house on the market, you want to get the highest amount of money possible, right? That's your goal. And so in order to get the highest amount of money possible, you have to know how to value that house correctly. And so I think you could really ease that conversation between the agent and the person who could potentially be listing, so the owner of the house. Now, another way that AI can help a real estate agent grow their business is that it can help you contact many people at once. So let's say you have a list of people who have gone to your open houses and they've opted in to be reached out to. And so they're sending you their information and they're wanting to talk to you about buying a house or maybe even selling their house. And so instead of you messaging, let's say hundreds or thousands or even tens of thousands of people every single day or month, you could literally have AI reach out to all of these people. And again, we're training it to talk exactly like you. We're showing it exactly what scripts to follow, and we're educating it on the real estate market in that area. And so when it's talking to these people, it's very, very knowledgeable. It's likely that if they were texting it and they didn't know that it was AI, they would think it's a human being. And sometimes people really think that it's a human being. These people that are potentially clients for you, it becomes a very, very simple process for you because you're no longer reaching out to everybody and hoping somebody responds. You're only talking to the people that actually responded because AI is talking to all of them. And once they start responding and once they have a certain level of interest, they get handed off to you. And now you're no longer wasting time talking to all these people. You have AI doing all the heavy lifting for you, and you're coming in to close the deal. You're kind of like the sales manager. So imagine this is like a car dealership, right? You have your main salespeople, and they're doing a lot of the hard work. They're talking to the people, and then once they want to close the deal, they call in the sales manager, right? And so they call you in, you come in, you're the professional, you sign the paperwork, you get it all done. But at the end of the day, like somebody has to do all the bulk of the work, which is bringing in the majority of the business. So anyways, lots of different applications for AI. There's also like social media applications where you could literally run your whole social media using an AI avatar. You can use AI to engage with other people on social media, so you're not having to do that yourself every single day. And that basically just increases your exposure and awareness of your brand, which of course can bring you more business. So anyways, guys, those are the ways that I would use AI to grow my real estate business. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.